fans stunned. Her strapless gown was called "too big and too sloppy." In a world where every red carpet step can make or break a reputation overnight, one single dress managed to split the entire Korean internet into two fiercely opposing camps. The 46th Blue Dragon Film Awards, held on a crisp November evening in Seoul, once again proved why it remains the most glamorous and talked about film celebration in the country. Paradiso Hall was transformed into a sea of flashing lights and luxurious fabrics as Korea's biggest stars arrived one after another. Among the dazzling constellation of celebrities, the moment everyone had been waiting for finally came when Lim Yoona, better known simply as Yoona of Girls Generation, stepped onto the crimson carpet. Time seemed to slow down. Cameras clicked relentlessly, fans screamed from behind the barricades, and within seconds, her photographs were already flooding every social platform. She appeared like a living flame wrapped in silk. The gown was a bold, almost defiant shade of scarlet, strapless and straight cut, falling in a clean column from her collarbone to the floor. At first glance, it was pure minimalism, yet the eye was immediately drawn to the dramatic, three-dimensional floral appliqué blooming across her chest, like a single, oversized rose caught mid-bloom. The flower itself was a masterpiece of couture craftsmanship, petals crafted from layers of organza and chiffon that caught the light with every breath she took. Honestly, standing there under the spotlights, she looked less like an actress and more like a painting that had decided to step out of its frame and walk among mortals. What struck me most was how confidently she owned the simplicity. While others drowned in layers of tulle, crystals, and feathers, Yoona chose restraint, and that restraint somehow screamed louder than any over-the-top creation could. Her only jewelry was a pair of impossibly long, diamond linear earrings that grazed her shoulders each time she turned her head, drawing the gaze to the graceful line of her neck and the delicate curve of her collarbones. The makeup was the definition of no makeup makeup. Skin so flawless it looked airbrushed in real life, a whisper of rosy blush, eyes defined by the softest brown liner, and lashes that seemed to stretch forever, and lips tinted the exact same red as the dress, but 2 shades softer. Her hair fell in loose, glossy waves that moved like water whenever she smiled for the cameras. It was the kind of beauty that feels both timeless and impossibly modern at the same time. Within minutes, the photos went viral, and then the war began. One side of the internet declared it an absolute disaster. Why would someone with a perfect body hide it in a potato sack? One viral comment read. Others complained that the bright red ate her alive, that the straight silhouette made her look swallowed or shapeless, that the loose fit did nothing to highlight the legendary proportions she's famous for. Some even pulled out side-by-side comparisons with previous years when she wore mermaid gowns or body-skimming satin numbers, arguing that those looks were infinitely superior. Fashion critics on YouTube dissected the dress frame by frame, zooming in on how the fabric fell away from her waist, calling it a missed opportunity and shockingly unflattering for someone of her caliber. But then came the counter wave, and it was ferocious. Fans flooded every platform with heartfelt defense. This is exactly why Yoona is untouchable. She doesn't need to show skin or wear something tight to prove anything. One top comment with hundreds of thousands of likes declared. Another wrote, "The dress is pure class. It's giving old Hollywood glamour mixed with Korean elegance. Only Yoona could make minimalism look this expensive." Many pointed out that the loose silhouette actually made her look taller and more ethereal, like a goddess who doesn't need to try. She's serving face, aura, and elegance on a level most celebrities can only dream of, became a recurring refrain. Someone even made a slow-motion compilation of her walking, set to classical music, and captioned it, "When beauty is the outfit." Honestly, watching the debate unfold felt like witnessing a real-time masterclass in how polarized beauty standards have become. On one hand, there's the expectation that female celebrities must always accentuate every curve, always choose the most body-conscious silhouette possible, because anything less is considered wasted potential. On the other hand, there's the growing appreciation for elegance that doesn't scream for attention, for looks that prioritize grace over sex appeal, for the kind of beauty that feels effortless rather than engineered. Yoona, perhaps unintentionally, became the perfect battleground for these two ideologies. And the most fascinating part? She has done this before. Scroll back through 15 years of her red carpet appearances, and you'll see the same pattern. One year, she wears a jaw-dropping black velvet gown with a thigh-high slit, and the internet declares her the queen of sexy elegance. The next year, she chooses something soft and princess-like, and suddenly people complain it's too safe. When she wore that ice blue feathered creation in 2019, half the internet said it aged her. When she went for the sleek white column dress with the daring back cutout in 2022, the other half said it was perfection. The truth is, no matter what she wears, a portion of the audience will always have something to say, because the act of being Lim Yoona means living under a microscope that magnifies every thread. Yet, if you look closely at her expression in those now iconic red dress photos, you'll notice something. She looks completely at peace. There's a quiet confidence in her eyes, the kind that comes from knowing exactly who she is after 2 decades in the merciless spotlight. She smiled softly for the cameras, waved gently to fans, and glided through the chaos like someone who has long ago stopped seeking validation from strangers on the internet. That, more than the dress itself, might be the real reason millions fell in love with the look all over again. Because at the end of the day, fashion is temporary, but the way Yoona carries herself, that serene, almost regal composure wrapped in genuine warmth, is permanent. The red gown with its single dramatic flower will be remembered as the dress that sparked 1,000 arguments, but it will also be remembered as the dress worn by a woman who doesn't need the dress to shine. She simply allows the dress to exist in her orbit, and somehow, that makes everything more beautiful. And maybe that's the ultimate power move on any red carpet, wearing the gown instead of letting the gown wear you. In an industry that often reduces women to the sum of their measurements and styling choices, Yoona quietly reminded everyone that real beauty has always been about presence, not perfection. The dress may have been controversial, but her radiance, that was never up for debate.